Hey Ed, you all right, buddy? How's it going?
Hey Mike, good. How you doing, Mike?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Right, just for everybody listening, I'm Mike Martin. Got Ed Wideman here today. Quite a few people have been telling me about some of the stuff he's doing, what he's doing. He's getting some great successes. Quite a lot of our people are now following him. My right-hand man, Keith Best, actually told me I need to look at what it is he's doing and how he's doing it. So I've asked Ed to come on and quickly whip through and show us what it is he's doing, how he's doing it. Also, if anybody wants to work with him, he'll let you know how to do that later on. I mean, first of all, Ed, I mean, what is it that you're actually doing at the minute? If you want to just let a few people know a brief outline first.
Yeah, for sure. So my brief background, I got into lead gen like 6, 7 years ago, and it just dive bombed. Didn't get results with it. Then got into client-based SEO, and then I kind of came back to lead gen about 2 years ago. I got turned on a Magic Page. I really loved the whole program. I liked the plugin. I liked how everything worked, but I had to figure out how to work it for myself. Lead gen has been my first love always, but the challenge was always how to get results with it. You know, so many people love it, but not everybody was getting results with it. And I just had to figure it out for myself, for my own sanity. I got to keep things super simple. Keep the game plan as simple as possible so that I can like duplicate my efforts over and over. So that's really what I've been doing. I've been coaching a lot of people in the digital marketing space for probably the last like 5, 6 years, and helping people have clarity. Because again, a lot of these guys that are trying to build businesses just don't know how, and they're overwhelmed with the process. So between running my agency, doing lead gen, building my own lead gen empire, things have been going pretty awesome.
Sounds awesome. One of the things I did pick up on them when you said was simplicity. That is something that we get asked about all the time, and unfortunately, most coaches, most trainers, most people doing what we do struggle to keep it simple to help your general man understand it.
100%. I think it's the biggest reason why people fail. They're so overwhelmed. There's too much information. They're like, well, they don't have clarity. So guess what? If they don't have clarity, they're not taking action. So I'm like, I had to figure that out for myself. But then it's been a common theme I see with everybody I talk to. Like, Ed, I'm confused. I don't know how to do this. I'm overwhelmed. And the more we just peel back the onion and just simplify everything, people can get results way faster. And that's exactly what we're seeing now.
Yeah, I get a lot of questions very similar to that. People asking about specific details and about just things that you need on a real high level for SEO when they're doing local, and it's not completely necessary. I probably don't think we should jump in too much and start chatting too much about it. I tell you what, should I take our cameras down? I'll let you jump in and go through and do some training. If you don't mind, I'll interrupt throughout and ask questions if I've got any questions. And then we'll just push along with the training. It's not a live training, so we're going to do this recorded and share it later. But I think as long as we give somebody contact details to be able to get in touch with you at the end, that'll be great for people to be able to contact you, ask questions, and see how that they could get involved in it, in what it is you do. Does that sound good?
That sounds like a good plan, Mike.
Right, I'll switch our cameras off, bud. I'll let you take over the screen. Oh, you've already got the screen, and let's go. Let's do it.
Sounds good. All right, guys. So let's just dive into it. I like cutting to the chase. People want, information. I put this screen up here for a reason because it's the biggest, thing I see all the time. Why are people struggling with SEO with rank and rent? It's really these top 5 things, right? We all know it. People are lacking clarity and confidence, like we were just talking about. They feel overwhelmed because there's so much information. They feel like it costs too much money to rank sites. I remember when I was building sites 6, 7 years ago, it was costing me $1,000 just to get a site, get all the SEO pieces of the puzzle in place. And it was just so overwhelming. And a lot of people don't have the extra money to do that. Another reason, it takes too long to build sites. I've had conversations with people that like, it takes me a full day, 2 days. I don't have that kind of time. And then lastly, which is really the most important, is it just takes too long to rank sites. And these were my own personal struggles, but I'm an entrepreneur and I was like, I gotta figure this stuff out, because if all these people are overwhelmed, there's gotta be a better mousetrap. There's gotta be an easier way to get results. So I went on a mission to basically simplify how I was doing SEO, how I was doing lead gen, leveraging Magic Page, Magic Page is an amazing tool. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle, but I was like, you know what? I want to use it a very specific way, very simply, so that I can execute and get results. That's what I've seen. That's what I see a lot of my students, a lot of other people seeing. So let's just dive into the next step here. So here's the question I have for everybody. What if you could invest 1 hour of your time, drop $10, and build out a website that ranks against leads? I don't think there's anybody on the planet that would turn down that deal. The thing is, it is a reality. A lot of people are like, oh, come on, Ed, you can't really do that. Well, yes, you can, but you got to have a good game plan. So I'm going to show you guys an example using this site, Boon Epoxy. So I'm going to open up an incognito browser, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what we're talking about. So if we type in, obviously I'm not logged in, you type in epoxy flooring in Boon. I'm here in North Carolina. What you're going to find is, here's my website right here, boonepoxy.com. It's above the maps. It's above everything else. Why? Because we're sending Google a clear signal, a clear message, and we've established trust with Google to the point where they're willing to put us above the map pack. Which, when I first saw that, I was like, well, I was excited to rank here in the organic section, but ranking above the maps is even better, right? So that was proof to me that we were on the right track getting results, all right? So let's take a look at the site real quick, because I think a lot of people are visual learners. My philosophy was, I want to do something as simple as possible. Why not build out a one-page lead gen site, do it to the nines, do it right, and watch what happens. So that's exactly what this is. This is a one-page lead gen site. All the right elements from a marketing perspective in here. We're using Magic Page, which is all right in here, keeping it super simple, super clean. And that one-page website, as you guys can see, is actually ranking above the map pack in that one city. And that city is about 30,000 people, just so you know. And we're obviously getting leads there. What's also nice is Magic Page is my go-to. I'll never not use it because the tool is absolutely amazing. This is really a one-page website, but it's actually got about 50 or 60 location pages that Magic Page built out for me, which is really the whole goal of saving time, is leveraging that tool as an asset to save you guys time to build your business. So basically, this is what we're talking about, how to build out a website. Now, can you do a multi-page site with multiple services? Absolutely. But my philosophy was, when you're focusing on tons of keywords, you need those other service pages to rank. But if you focus on one main keyword, in this case, epoxy flooring, there's enough search volume to justify it, and you can actually rank really well, which, as you guys are seeing, is exactly what's happening, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk through the process of building out a site together in record time, all right? So the idea is using Gutenberg. I used to use Elementor, I used to use Divi, I used to use a lot of these other tools, but what I found was all these other tools tend to bloat code on the site. They tend to make the websites load slower. So I'm like, you know what? If I can just use WordPress natively, right? The block editor, also known as Gutenberg, like, I gotta learn it. So about 9 months ago, I decided to rip the Band-Aid and just take a few hours and figure it out. And I am so happy to say it was the best decision, because literally my sites, they load fast on mobile, they load fast on desktop, the sites are really small, it provides the end user with a great experience, and these sites are ranking a lot faster than any other websites that I was building. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build out a site using Gutenberg, and then we're gonna tie in Magic Page and Lead Simplify as our tools to finish out these sites. So I'm not gonna bore you guys with all the details of buying domains and setting up your hosting and installing WordPress. I took the liberty of saving time. That's all done. What you do need to do is get your photos all put together, optimize your photos. What I've been doing is we've been converting our photos to a WebP format, because what it's doing is it's taking the images and it's shrinking them down to very, very small file sizes. So I'm using this tool called XN Convert. It's free. There's the logo, you guys can see it, and we're using it for that purpose. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you are building GMBs or Google Business Profiles, or using an image on Magic Page, the SEO image requires a PNG file or a JPEG, okay? So all the other photos on the site are gonna be WebP format, which helps to compress the size of the site. So how we compress images is tinypng.com. It shrinks them down, you download the zip file, and then you load the images on your site. But for all other images, we're doing WebP format because again, it's making the file size a lot smaller. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna upload all your images to your domain, and I'm gonna go to that domain now so you guys can see. So here's a brand new website, trinityepoxy.com. I set it up last night just to save some time. There's nothing on here. There's no pages. There's no posts. There's no themes. I've got nothing on here. We're gonna do this all together at rapid pace, and you guys are gonna see within an hour or less, you can actually build out a website, probably even less over time. I literally can build out a site in about 30 minutes now from start to finish, everything from, based on the evergreen template I've got in place. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna upload all of our images to the media library. Super simple, a lot of you guys know this stuff, but it's an important part of the process. There's actually a step that a lot of people forget, is when you upload your images. Let's get all these images. When you upload your images, you got to change your alt text. So all these images are so small, they load fast. So you got to go into your library. What you got to do is you got to click on each one of your images, and you got to make sure alt text is on all of these. Because if you ever use a tool like an SEO tool, you're going to see that alt text is missing on your images. So as long as you do this step out the gate like this, anytime you use these photos on your site, they're automatically going to have the alt text, so Google's going to read the image the right way. Super simple, but extremely important step that I see a lot of people overlook. All right, so from here, we use Astra as a theme, okay? So let's get rid of that. I'm going to come down to appearance to themes. I've got one theme automatically on the site, but we're going to basically add Astra. You can always use the paid version of Astra. I'm cheap, I just don't want to use it if I, the one benefit of using the paid version is if you ever want to have like a sticky header where the nav bar at the top stays there, that's like an advantage to using it. But other than that, I don't use it. So we delete any other themes and we start with Astra.
Astra don't have a link back to Astra in the free version.
I'm sorry?
Do Astra not have a link back to their own website in the free version though?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. They probably do. Actually no. I have no place on the website where I've ever seen a link back to Astra. So I would say the answer is no.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I'll shut up and carry on. Let you carry on.
Yeah, never had a problem with that. All right. So we deleted all the themes. Okay. This is just some housekeeping stuff. You want to delete all pages, all posts, and then start installing your plugins. So we come over to posts. I deleted the post already. Come over to pages. You delete your other pages. All right. That's all done. Sample pages. And for me, and a lot of people will be surprised, I literally only have 2 plugins on the entire website. It's Magic Page and the Call Now button, and that's it. Because again, the more plugins you have on a website, what's going to happen? The more likely you're going to have potential conflicts, right? So I've installed Magic Page. I have my API key on there already. I'm going to upload the Call Now button. You just go to Call Now button WordPress in Google, and you can grab that plugin for free. I know some of the other guys like Keith, we've talked about this plugin. He loves it. I'll show you guys what it looks like in mobile, so let's get that installed as well. So literally, those are my only 2 plugins I use on websites now. Because again, I'm a minimalist. You don't need a lot of plugins, and these sites screen pretty fast. So there you go. I use SiteGround for hosting a lot of time. That's just a preference of mine. You don't have to do that. You can use other hosting services, but I do like it. It works out pretty great. So if you don't have SiteGround, you're using something else, you're typically just gonna have 2 plugins, right? So that step is done. Okay, so just a couple of housekeeping things, and then we'll get into actually building out the site. So when you come under users, you're gonna change your name to your nickname to your whatever your site name is. This way, your information is not showing up there out on Google. Okay, so that piece is done. We're going to create a home page and then adjust some settings. So let's come over to pages. We're going to add a new page. Now, because I have Astra installed, I can actually disable the name home on the site. So we're going to come over to Astra settings, and we're going to do full with contained. We're going to make no sidebar, and then we're going to publish that page. So now we got a home page. Okay, that step is done. Now we're going to go over to just a couple other settings, and then we should be good to go. You got to come under settings, reading, and you're going to set your home page to your home. Okay. You're going to come over to general, and I always leave site title and tagline blank. Why? Because I do everything within Magic Page, because Magic Page is not just a mass page builder, it's an SEO plugin, and it's got schema built in as well. So I leave these empty because Magic Page is going to populate that data for me later. I also just add the HTTPS here. It's going to kick me out of the site and force me to log back in. Not a big deal, or maybe it won't. So now we got a site. There's nothing there. We have our Astra theme. This won't show up. Actually, Mike, just to clarify, this only shows up in the footer until you delete it. So I always delete that. All right, so we got this step done, this step done. We've left the general settings as well. Now, one thing I'll say that I have noticed that there's sometimes, not always, but there's a glitch sometimes with Astra. So when you go over to your settings to set up your theme settings, if you ever see a white bar below the navigation bar, then you got to add code. I have this happen maybe 20% of the time. So I just add this code. I can provide it, but basically I add that just in case there's a glitch where there's an extra like white bar that falls underneath the nav bar. So this way it's done. I don't have to think about it. All right, and that's pretty much it, guys. That's the work that we do getting this thing off the ground. Now we're just going to do some quick theme settings, and then we'll be done. Let me go over to grab my color code so I have it. So we're going to go into Astra to set up themes. Theme settings. So we'll do all this stuff real quick. And again, for me, like I've gotten to a point now where I can do this stuff in like 30 minutes or less. So all I do is I come under my global settings. I'm going to change my link color to what I use. I'm going to change my heading, so all my header tags are the same color. I like that uniform consistency. Now I do black backgrounds on my sites. You guys can do white. That's just a preference. Site background for me is going to be black. You guys will probably do white. Content background for me is going to be black. So now I got my backgrounds in place. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing on make sure that desktop and mobile is all the same. So body text is going to be white. Site background is going to be black. Content background is going to be black. Body text can be white. So you just got to make sure you go through this one time, because once you've got it done, you don't have to think about this ever again. So let me go back to content background. All right, so now we're done. I'm going to publish those. So that's all your colors, okay? Now I got to come over to button, do the same thing. Background color for the button is going to be blue, the blue. The text is going to be white. And then when it hover is going to be white, and the color is going to be blue. So pretty simple. Publish that. All right, let's go back to the checklist just to make sure we got it all. So I've kind of flip-flop a little bit. I got those two done. Let's add our logo and favicon. Okay, header builder. I'm going to take off the toggle button because I don't have any of the pages I show, so don't need them. So I'm going to come in here and just change the nav bar to black, and then we're going to remove the radius so it's all black, nice and clean. Okay, and then do the same thing on mobile and tablet. Okay, all good. All right, so let me publish that. All right, so let me get into adding my logo. So because I added to the media library, it's already in there. Okay, I've got my alt text in there. It's just one less step I gotta worry about. Okay, we are gonna turn off site title, and we're gonna add our favicon to the site. Guys, this is the part, like, this stuff takes like 10 minutes to do, but once you get this done, you'll be in good shape. So, and let's go back to publish. All right, so last step is we're gonna come down to footer builder, and then we're gonna remove some of this text. So what I always, now I'm getting ahead of myself, but we use our xfield_company, which is basically the business name, and that's how we leave it. So design, we're gonna do text will be white. Background is gonna be black. I think that should do it. All right, so those are pretty much all our settings. That's the hard part. Now we just go out and build the site. So let's get into building the site. Now here's the thing. Gutenberg is a lot simpler than Elementor. There is a learning curve. I mean, you mess around with it a little bit, you get a feel for it. You start to realize that it's actually not too bad. So hopefully I got everything in the way. Oh, I probably have to edit that. I have to change that. All right, go back in header builder, change the size of the logo, and then make sure the background is actually black. I think I missed that step. Background black. Okay. And then primary menu, I'm just going to disable it, but I am going to add a button. So we're going to add a button. And if you remember, my global settings already have it in there. So we're going to say call, and then we're going to put xfield_phone, and then we're going to have a link to our short code that MagicPage is going to provide later. And then make sure everything is the same. There we go. All right, that's it. So now, if we take a look at the site, hopefully everything should look pretty good. Yep, so now what we do is we're gonna go and build a site. So, and this is where I'm just gonna roll with all the content. So there are no extra pages or anything that you gotta go into with Gutenberg. It's real simple. So there's literally, you've got a bunch of elements that you're gonna upload, much like you do with Elementor or Divi, but honestly, this is so much faster. So first we're gonna add a cover block, right? And then we're gonna add an image from the media library, which will add that image. Okay, and we've got our settings to full width, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add columns to this, and we're gonna do a 50-50 column split. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a header. And this, if we go to our headers, where's my notes? Our meta title is gonna be the same as our H1. So we're gonna put that in there. And this is gonna be, hold on, heading, header tag. We're gonna make this an H1. Oh, you know what? I know why it's causing a problem. You can't copy and paste paragraph into a header. You got to create a header first. So we're going to call this epoxy flooring location. Now the reason why I'm doing location is because MagicPage is going to provide us with our default location once we get it set up. Okay, so we're going to bold in this. You can make this as big as you want, and then come down here and make them capital letters over here. Then we're going to add a list, which is basically all this like quantitative data that I like to use. I like to do this because it helps with conversion, guys. Like, here's the bottom line: if you got a site that you're built, yeah, Mike.
Really quick there. Could you just, so he's just changed that to the capital letters, but you can't type it in capital letters. Just to let him know that if you type it in capital letters, the location shortcode won't work. So you have to change it using the actual. I don't know how you do it in Gutenberg because I've never used it. I've just thought I'd let them know that quickly because otherwise they're going to run into all sorts of problems, aren't they?
Yep, it's funny you say that because that was exactly my issue when I would like look at my my settings in like a SEO tool. I'm like, why is why is everything else capitalized, but the location short code is lowercase? And I realized that I was capitalizing everything. So I just made a best practice to do just like this and leave it lowercase. But then when I click over here in the right-hand column, I can make it capital. So the visual of it is capital, but on the SEO end of it, it's still lowercase. So when you look at it on the site, it's all capitalized. So this was just something I had to figure out, but it worked out pretty good. So, all right, so we add in our list. Yeah, let me get this out of the way. And then we're gonna add a button over here. And then our button is literally just gonna be called, the biggest thing, and I learned this from Mike and the guys, it's like, you want to have as many call to actions as you possibly can without overdoing it, because what good is people landing on your website if they don't take action, right? Like, it's all about conversion, guys. It's all about making sure that you can convert traffic and getting leads. And a lot of people don't do that, and they're wondering why their sites are not actually ranking, because they're actually not doing the very things that they should be doing to get them to convert. So here's our left-hand column. We have a right-hand column. We're going to add custom HTML to this. So the block is called just custom HTML. And I've already kind of got this taken care of just to save time on this. Here's my lead simplify form. I've got my width and my height preset. Pretty much I use the same parameters for all my sites. I have it centered, so it always centers on all devices. And I just copy this code over to the site. So now if I hit update, and if I view the page, you guys see, I can size this up, of course, but look how clean that is. Very simple, very clean. Now I just go into edit page. I don't go into edit with Elementor, I'm just going edit page, saving a ton of time. So I'm at the block level, so you can actually go up a level to, well, we're at the cover level right now. So you can adjust your dimensions, your width of these columns and all that kind of stuff, fix backgrounds, etc. The only thing that you can adjust your opacity, just like you can with anything else. They make it real simple, guys. It's a lot simpler than a lot of people think. And I'm just gonna adjust the height of my cover to like 650 pixels, because I like having a little bit taller, okay? And then you update. So there you go. So there's literally your cover, your header image, your hero section. And one key point, and I learned this from Mike because I watch him, I study people that actually know what they're doing. Your contact form has to be multiple layers, because these are all micro commitments, right? If you want to get leads, you've got to get people committing at each level and then force them to add some information manually. So by the time their phone number gets put in, they've already committed like 6 times, right? And they'll give you their phone number, which is the most important piece of information you want. So if you don't do this part right, you're leaving money on the table. So something I learned from Mike, I'll give him credit, because it's a really, really good thing to do, and it works wonders in terms of conversions. Okay, so that is the first section of the site. Okay, now what we're going to do is we've got our header tag, our H1. Now we're going to add the rest of the information to the site. So let's go. So the way this works with Gutenberg is you highlight over the element. If I was at right now I'm clicking on the block, I'm at the column level, there's a hierarchy here. So I can go up a level, I'm at the header level, H1 level, I can go up to the column level, but then I can also go up another block to the cover level. So select cover. So now I'm able to edit it. So there's 3 levels. That's kind of the way Gutenberg does it. So we're going to insert after the hero image or the cover image a new section. I'm going to add a spacer, and I'm going to make it 50 pixels tall. It's just kind of what I've been doing. And then after the spacer, we're going to add another heading, and we're going to have it as an H2. And our first H2 is going to be, where's my content? Right here, epoxy floors. Okay, but I can't, you know what? I can't copy it. Lesson learned. I've learned you can't copy paste paragraph into a header. It's going to force that element to be there.
If you right click it, does it not give you the option to paste without See, if you copy that now and then you right click, you see where it says paste without formatting? Can you use that in the website?
You're a smart guy. So let's see if that works. All right, hold on. Let me go back. Insert after spacer. For some reason, I deleted that spacer. Make it 50 pixels tall, and then after this, we're going to add heading. Going to be H2, so I paste it. Now it seems like I don't know why it's grabbing it. Well, nonetheless, let's just do it this way. The text will be fine because the text will be white. The headings are going to be blue because we did the formatting before. So epoxy floors, location, Florida. Okay.
Does that need to be a small L?
No, I haven't had
Location.
that problem. Nope, I haven't had that problem. So I'm gonna bolden this, and then I'm going to make it large, and then I'm gonna capitalize it. So it really stands out. Okay. Now we're gonna add text. So and I've already written this text. I already have it. So you guys can just see. I'm literally just copying my paste, copying in. This next one will be a list because like above, we had this list up above. So I'm just going to copy all these from my list. And then we're going to add the rest of this text. You guys, seriously, like you can really see how fast you can build, way faster than Elementor, in my opinion. And I've used both, and I like Elementor, but again, I even have sites right now working, some client sites where the issue I'm having is Elementor is loading slow, and I have no idea why. Now, I'm not saying all sites are going to have that problem, but it's just my experience. I personally just like using Gutenberg because it's super streamlined. So here's our text. Let's take a look at it real quick. We got a header. I can size this stuff up, not a big deal. I don't have a phone number in there yet, not a big deal. But you can see the backbone of the site is it's coming together nice and clean. All right, so let's edit this. I'm going to add one more section just so you guys see the process through. We're going to add another header. And then this one's going to be, where is it? We'll do we'll do epoxy flooring prices. Now, here's something I've been finding, guys. Flooring prices. Let me get this in here real quick. So it's boldness. We're going to make it large, and then we're going to make it capitalized. I've been finding when you're looking at Google loves quantitative data. The more pricing and information you can provide, the better off you're going to be. And you guys need to see this. So if you do a search for epoxy flooring as an example, right? What you're going to find here is this: people also ask. If you're ever struggling on content, what to write, Google's basically telling us, hey, here's the questions that we want to answer to provide people with a great end user experience. So I just use these for content, especially for my FAQs, which we add on all of our sites. So there's 4 questions, but if you open up one question, it now has 6. If you open up another one, now there's 8. If you open up another one, now you got all of those content, guys. If you're ever struggling with content for sites, you literally can use, Page Rewriter, drop this content right in there, and then use the AI tool, and it'll rewrite that content for you. It'll save you a ton of time. So this was something that I've been testing over the last 6 months, making a big difference because, again, I want to serve information that Google wants to see, and Google is telling us exactly what they want to share with people. So guess what? I'm just going to do that. That's a huge SEO tip, guys, that most people are not doing, and they're not providing FAQs on their site, and they're wondering why they're not ranking as good. This has made a huge impact positively on how we rank. So we now have more content. I'm now going to add another column. We're going to add 3 columns wide. Why? Because now we're going to add image. we'll add some photos. So I'm just gonna add 3 photos to the site. There's photo number 1. One other tip that I've found through trial and error is the images that I use for like galleries and stuff like that. I gotta make sure they're like 300 pixels or give or take. I think the height's gonna be a little bit different because I haven't included or I haven't adjusted the final height setting. Not a big deal. But basically, if your images are too wide, you're gonna have a formatting problem on Google, and it's just gonna serve the images incorrectly. It's gonna look all jacked up. So I'm not gonna make this 100% perfect. I just want to show you guys if you have your image dimensions. I think I messed up that one. Not a big deal, but you guys get the idea. And then the last thing I want to do on here is I want to add back pricing on the bottom here. So we're going to add a header. Did I add pricing? No, we're going to, I'm sorry, we're going to add frequently asked questions. Frequently asked questions. And then we're going to bolden this because it's an H2. We're going to make it large, and then we're going to center that as well. And I'm just going to add a column because 2 columns wide, 50-50. And then I'm going to do, this was an H2, so I'm going to just do for right now, heading, we're going to do an H3. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to grab a question and an answer. I'm just going to do 2 of these, Mike, just so you know. Just to show you.
Man.
So I'm just trying to be efficient with time, man, because, you know, it's just really important to do this stuff right, though. So that's that one. Now we're going to add another one. Heading block. We're going to add how long do epoxy floors last? How long? Oops. Let me change that to an H3. How? And then we'll get into the magic page the way I set it up. How long do epoxy floors last? Because again, these are questions that Google is telling us, hey, guys, these are the questions that we want to provide people. So if you're the one that, you know, takes that content, rewrites it, and then drops it in Copyscape or something just to test it for uniqueness, you'll be good. All right, so and then the last thing I'm going to do here on the bottom is we're going to go insert after. We're going to add a heading, and then we're going to call this our service area. And I pretty much do this on all my sites because, you know, I always want to make sure I have a map on there. So now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add 2 columns, 50-50. This first one is going to be text, and that text should be right here. Okay, and then over here, we're going to do custom HTML. Now, I've moved away from doing GMBs because I've gotten so many stinking ones suspended. I'm like, so for me, I was like, I'm gonna cast a wide net. And that's what turned me on to Magic Pages, in all honesty, guys. Like literally, I'm like, I was building out location pages manually, and I got turned on to Magic Pages. I'm like, holy cow, I could automate this process and save me all this time from having to build these pages out manually. Let Magic Page do it for me and leverage the tool. So all I do is I just add a generic map for that location. Okay, so let me update this page. Typically what I'll do too, guys, is I'll have like a call button here, and then I'll have another like call button down below, etc. So guys, check this out. How long did it take to build that site? 20 minutes to literally get that's the home page. Now I can size up I can change the settings and stuff like that, but that's not important. The point is we literally have a website that's built out. In fact, you know what? Let's just do this real quick. We've literally built out a 1-page website in less than 25 minutes. You know, granted, you know, content, stuff like that, but using tools like Page Rewriter to write that content for you, it's going to save you a ton of time. You know, take somebody else's content, or literally just use a tool. It's going to pull all that content off the first page of Google, and then you just literally just need to, you know, copy it, and then use Page Rewriter as an AI tool to rewrite it, run it through Copyscape, make sure it's clean, and you're good to go. So it's all about working smart. And I feel like the combination of Magic Page, Lead Simplify, and the way we're doing Gutenberg is going to make things a lot simpler. let me go to my Boom site real quick. I'm not seeing the copy. And then what we'll do is we'll go through Magic Page and how I set that up, which I think is going to be really interesting to you guys, because Magic Page there's a lot to it. There's a lot of nuts and bolts to it. But I was like, I love the tool. I just want to simplify how I'm doing it for my own sanity, right? And it's worked out pretty good. So here's text. We're gonna put that in there. We're gonna make it not too large. Let's make it like 24. And then you can come in here, line height, and adjust the line height to make it a little bit smaller or higher. On the one side, I'm actually gonna add a button on this side. This is something Keith and I have actually talked about. And he's in full agreement that you always wanna add buttons, on desktop, not just one, have 3 or 4 buttons on your site, because this way you have a way for people to actually connect with you on desktop if they're not on their phones, even though most people can be on their phones. Okay, and then over here, we're gonna add our Lead Simplify form, and I usually do this like 3 times on the site. So we're gonna add custom, where is it? Custom HTML. The form is centered. So now you guys will get a good glimpse of what a site looks like. How hard is that?
That's why you set your own height and width, isn't it, on your form? Because if you do the Lead Simplify form multiple times without setting the width, it breaks. Did you even know that?
Yeah, because you could do a 50-50 split. It's going to use up 800 pixels, right? So I don't want 100% width, which is what Lead Simplify does automatically. I want to condense it down so the form doesn't fill up half the page, right? So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but what you've just done then, where you've set the pixels, if you put 2 Lead Simplify forms on a page without setting the width and the height, it breaks the form. So what you've done without realizing it by setting it to 400 and 420 is what stops the form from breaking on your page by having it on there multiple times.
Yep, exactly right. So it just, it was something I had to learn the hard way. I've gone through the school of hard knocks. So yep. So look, we've got our H1. Now location's not showing up right now because there isn't one, but it will be there once we add Magic Page real quick. We have quantitative information. I'd be normally sizing that up. We have our form. Now here's something I want to stress. I'm a marketing guy. I'm a sales guy at heart, right? People are inherently lazy. If you can provide all the information that they need before they start to scroll, you're going to save yourselves a ton of time because you're going to get conversion. People have everything in the area here. What do you do? Where do you do it? What kind of credibility? How to contact you? Phone number and form. Everything they need is right there, guys. They don't have to come down here. Now, if they're interested, they can. But my philosophy is I want to ensure that I can convert as many as I can. And this is a really important strategy that I've implemented from a marketing perspective that makes a big, big difference. Okay, so we got a form there. We have an H2 here. We have another H2 here. We have some images showing, quality of work. We have a statement here, another phone number. The form is there. We have a couple FAQs, which are the questions that Google wants answers to. And we have our service area. And then we have a generic map because we don't have a GMB. Okay, that's it. That is literally how you build out a one-page lead gen site. So let's go back to our checklist real quick. So we've literally done all these steps here, okay? Now, I want to hit on this, and then we'll go over and we'll adjust our Magic Page settings, and we'll clone the home page. We'll make it our Magic Page, and literally we'll be done in like 15 minutes flat. So now, remember me saying, I don't use any other SEO plugins. I used to use other tools, but Magic Page is my go-to because it has an SEO plugin built into it. So I'm going to add meta title description to the bottom of the site. You also need to add X fields. I'm going to do this on the homepage now because I do have Magic Page activated already. So I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So what does that look like? Now remember, if you guys use Elementor, you're going to have an edit with Elementor over here. I go straight to, the block editor, the Gutenberg editor. It's just so much faster from what I've seen. So what are we going to do? We're going to scroll down to the bottom. Here's your meta title description, all this kind of information. You need to set this on every single page. I don't have a contact page, but if I had a contact page, I would have to come here and edit all this information for each page. In my case, all I have is a home page and a magic page. So I have to edit this, make sure I do this twice. So I'm going to add my X fields here. So what do I use? I use company, which in this case is going to be Trinity Epoxy. Okay, I'm going to use phone, which, let's see what the phone number is on the, here's my phone number. I'm going to save that. We're going to add email. Well, actually, you know what? I didn't have to do email because I don't have a contact page. I can add address, which the way I do this is serving, location, Florida, and all of Pasco County. So that's the way I do my address. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything. X fields, company name, phone, email, and address. If you had a contact page, then obviously you would add your email. But in this case, I don't need to because I don't have one. And that's a dummy email, by the way. It goes nowhere. I don't even care. So those are my X fields. Now my Spintax short codes are going to be meta title, which is going to be, let's see, I already got it here. Epoxy flooring. There's that. So we're going to grab that. And then we're going to add another one called meta description, SEO description, page description. Everyone's got a different name for it. Doesn't really matter. It's the same thing. Let's grab our page description. Now I want to make a note of this too. This is like a little marketing tip. I like capital letters because it gets people's attention. I like having the phone number in there because if they scroll on Google, they see capital letters or phone number, it might stop them and get them to click on it more often, right? Even, free estimates, etc. So we're going to save those two. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy my meta title into these two fields, and then I'm going to copy my meta description into those two fields. We're going to generate a canonical, or however you pronounce it. And then for right now, I go into the standard schema builder. And because I've got the meta description already pasted, I'm going to come down there first. I'm going to put in a range. You could actually create a short code for this if you wanted to. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I've never done that before. But I'm going to say, $1,500 to $20,000, depending on project scope. And then Magic Page is amazing. So all you got to do is add, you have address, you have phone, email, punch in my address, go figure. So we're going to do address. You only have 5 fields to enter. So phone is going to be phone. This is going to do that zip automatically, state automatically, city automatically. I'll leave that blank. My email, we're going to do an X field. Now in my case, I don't have an email. Let's just assume right now we had an email on there. So basically we're setting up shortcodes for all these, and now I'm going to update the site. So basically now the homepage is done. We've got the homepage built out. We've got all our forms. We've got Lead Simplify. We got our phone number. We've got call to actions, help with conversion. Here, I'll make you guys happy. We'll just add an email, info@trinityepoxy.com. Okay, for all you guys that would drive you crazy. Okay, so literally we have a homepage done. We have the SEO done for it. We have the basic schema done. You can always use the WC schema plugin, but I'm just showing you the simpler version, the way I'm using it currently. I also use the advanced plugin as well, but that's basically what you want to do on the homepage. So that's done. Let's go back to our notes. All this stuff is done. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to do our Magic Page settings, like I said, and we're going to clone this and we're going to be done. All right, so Magic Page settings. I've hidden my API key, so that's hidden, but that is there. You're gonna want to come in and minify your footprint. So this way you hide, because it says Magic Page plugin in here. So I just do something like this: Trinity Epoxy plugins, Trinity Epoxy posts, and I have it minified. Done. I'm probably going to change this because I came in and edited it. Plugin folder, post folder. Okay, done. Okay, so this is important. I had this issue where I was like, why can't I edit that page? You have to change this to the Gutenberg editor. If you're using Elementor, you got to leave it classic. But in this case, we're using Gutenberg editor. This is Magic Page cache enabled. We're going to turn on sitemap. I turn off posts because I don't do any posts. I'll do my default radius to 5 miles. I'm going to change my URL structure. It could be location. It could be service area, service areas. Let's just say service, or how about we do areas served? I've actually left my API key out, and I've been fine, and these sites are actually ranking faster. I need to start testing better with the API key. I just haven't. And that's my settings right there. Let me just save this. The next step is going to be, we're going to install the database. So now this might take a quick minute to do, to load, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to use the Magic Page database, and you're going to drill down to your country, to whatever states you're targeting, and then whatever county. So for me, we're United States. We're targeting Florida. There's Florida. We're gonna click on our filters. I want Pasco County only. And we're gonna set our population, we'll try 1,000. And this is gonna tell us how many cities in Pasco County in Florida have at least 1,000 population or greater. It might be, I don't know, 30, 40, 50, or 60, we'll find out. I typically will do, all right, 34. So we're gonna install the database, and then we're gonna hit continue. So basically this is, so now we're done. We got all our settings for Magic Page completed. And now we're gonna go over and we're gonna build our Magic Page. But in order to build our Magic Page, guys, we have to clone the home page. So what we typically would do in Elementor is you create a template, right? Well, guess what? You don't have to do that with Gutenberg. All you got, this entire page is built for you. You click on these 3 buttons, come down and click copy all blocks, and then you go back, come over to your Magic Page. We're going to add a new Magic Page. We're going to type in the word location. We're going to hide that, and then I'm going to hit enter, and watch this. I'm on a Mac, it's Command V. On a PC, it's what? Whatever your copy paste function is, your paste function. Watch this, Command V. It populates everything.
That is fucking awesome.
I was waiting on your response, Mike. I was hoping I'd get that reply.
Oh, I didn't even know about that. That's brilliant.
It's pretty sick. But here's the thing, guys. We have all of our settings right, but what's got to change? The only thing you guys have to change on this page is your map embed code, because this is just a generic, Google Map code for Trinity, Florida. What we need is the dynamic code that Magic Page provides. So where's mine? There it is. Right? No, wait. Dynamic map code's right there. I have it set with centered, so it's always going to be centered on all devices. And all I got to do is swap it out and publish. Okay. So now how is to view the Magic Page? Oh, wait. I got ahead of myself. See, this is why I got to go back. I got to use my notes. So let's go back to this. So we did all these steps. We set all this stuff. I just kind of rolled with it, guys, just in the interest of time. So we did all that. Here's a note. I did this in red to remind you guys, do not copy your home page until you are 100% happy with how it looks. Get it perfect the way you want. SEO perfect, as Mike always says, because you're in my brain, dude. I hear your voice in my head way too much, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Do not, because what's going to happen is you have to go back and change stuff, right? So just make sure you have it the way you want and then clone it. So we've done that. Okay. I need to come in here and I've disabled the, let's see, I've done this step. I have to add these other steps as well. I got these other steps. We did that step ahead of schedule, but not a big deal. All right, so I need to come over and adjust my settings. Remember, this is a regular page, your Magic page, but you still need to adjust your theme settings for this page. So full with contained and no sidebars. Okay, we're gonna update that. And now we're gonna come over and we're gonna adjust our Magic page settings. And Mike can do this in his sleep because he's done it a billion times, but I'm gonna choose Trinity as my location. I'm gonna choose it as my default. Now here's what I do is I'll put 99 here because I know we're not that great of a radius from all the locations. If I had more than like 50 or 60 location pages, I might drip out. I might launch like 10 or 12 off the bat, and then I might drip pages ongoing. That's something that Mike and Keith really taught me well. Is like if I had 100 location pages, then you got to drip them because you want to do what's natural to Google. If you do things that are not natural, they're gonna sniff you out and know that you're trying to game the system. So you gotta be a little conservative. But for this site, because there's only 34 locations, we're just gonna publish them all. And I've done this and I've had no problems with it. So now we need to come down to our SEO image. If you remember what I told you guys, all of our images, these images are all WebP format, but this one has to be a PNG file or like a JPEG. So I did upload, oh, hold on. No, actually I do have to upload it. I can't pull it from the library. So let me go to my download folder. I want that image, and then we are now gonna update that site. So now we have an SEO image. So if I was to refresh this, the SEO image should be there. It is a PNG. We're all good. So let's just take a look at that. There you go. SEO image is there. So remember what I said. So look, we're literally done with the page. We're done. One thing we need to add. We also service the following locations. City shortcode, right? We got to add that in there because we want Google to see it at the top of the page. So they start crawling all the other pages and then the next 10, and the next 10, and the next 10. So we're going to add that always to the top. I have to add it back to the home page as well. What else? Everything else is done. We have our map embed, but remember I said every single page you have to set up your settings. See, like our SEO settings are not done. We have to do those. So we're going to copy our meta title and description, turn on that, and then we're going to copy our meta descriptions, and they're all short codes, and then we're going to go into Schema Builder and do the same thing. So description, what I did $1,500 to, I don't know what, $20,000, depends on project scope. And then literally I can just come in here and grab all of my X fields. So what did I grab? I grabbed company name. Oh, hold on. I got ahead of myself. So we're just gonna grab address. We're gonna grab phone. We're gonna do email, and then we're done. And literally everything else is dynamic. Magic Page is going to do what it does best. It automates all that for you, so you don't have to worry about it all. And literally, your Magic Page is now done. And we do have the city shortcode on there. So let me do this. Let me copy. Well, I just want to copy that sentence, and then we're going to update this.
I think you got the city shortcode on there twice.
Do I?
Yep.
So then I already had it previously, didn't I?
Yeah, you've already got it in because you've had it in your previous setup, then re-added it.
Did I? Oh, I did.
So just above.
Okay, so we don't. So all right, so I'm one step ahead of myself. So we're done. So now, if you go to your home page, we have our city shortcodes right there. Right? We have now Trinity is now populated. Obviously, I can size some of this stuff up, but you guys get the idea. We have our H2s, we have some images, we have multiple phone numbers and multiple forms to increase conversion. We have FAQs on here. We have our service page. Now, granted, this is, I don't have the footer. I didn't change the background to black. I'm not going to worry about it. Not a big deal. I missed that part. But Trinity Epoxy, all the short codes are filling out information wherever I have the company name. This is just a generic map. But then if we go over to the Magic page, so let's go over what New Port Richey. Everything is obviously doing what Magic Page does best. It's swapping out the location wherever I have it mentioned on the site. And then, would be the next 10 locations. And then what's really cool is the map is now it's a dynamic map. The only other thing that I do here is on the Magic page, I always have a link back to the home page because Google's going to crawl these location pages. I want to make sure that Google's going to find it. So I'm like, let's say, I don't know, we are your epoxy flooring, I don't know what we want to say, your professional epoxy flooring company. I'm not putting the location. I just want a basic anchor text. We're gonna, I don't want aggressive anchor text. So we're gonna go back to the home page, which is what, trinityepoxy.com, open a new tab, done. So now when Google crawls these pages and indexes it, then it's gonna always send a link back to the home page, which can help build trust to the home page, which is really something a lot of people overlook. My philosophy is every inner page should have a link back to the home page because it's just, you wanna have that link circle working. There you go, guys. There's your home page. And then you got your Magic pages. And you literally have, what have we done? We built out a 35-page website in like under an hour. Now, granted, you could write this content and do all that stuff too and save yourself a bunch of time. All right, let's make sure we haven't missed anything. We added all these steps, right? A simple schema, we've done that. Oh, here we go. Very, very important. I had missed this early on, didn't quite understand the magnitude of how important this was. Right now, your home page is set to Trinity Epoxy Flooring as a meta tile in H1. There's a duplicate page, which is the Trinity page. So if I was to click on Port Richey, as an example, you're gonna see there's a Trinity page. So what we need to do is we need to redirect this page back to the home page so we don't have two pages basically saying the same thing. So I guess I would say this would be your next plugin that you would use, a 301 redirect plugin. I use it through my hosting provider, but this would be the secondary plugin that you guys would have to add. So basically, where is it? 301 redirects. We're literally just gonna skip all that and we're gonna do back to homepage, done. Now we have a redirect, and then the only other thing I want to check, which I have noticed, is Magic Page will build out a sample page, I think, and it's indexed. So see the basic template homepage, I just trash it because that will index and it's shown up for me, so I wanted to make sure it was gone. So let's see what else. The only other thing you guys got to do would be to do a backup of your site, okay? My host provides it, so not a big deal. So check this out. One more thing. So you guys now see, oops, let me delete the Boom site. You now see we just built out a site. You could do this in an hour. Now here's what's cool. I just built out this Trinity site with you guys, right? Let's just say you want to clone the site. How do you do that? So check this out. I have a clone that I have a temporary domain, okay? I've set up my theme and all that stuff. I think I have a home page. So guess what you could do? Not only can we copy the page from the home page to the Magic page, but you can copy it across sites. So you actually don't have to like export the entire site. You can literally copy the page and literally come back in here. Now, granted, on this site, I haven't changed all the colors and stuff like that, but you guys get the idea.
Oh my God.
See that? So
that's amazing.
Now, yeah. Now, Steve, there's an error here. There's a white bar. There's that code I showed you guys. Where's that code? Here's that code that we add to CSS to the theme. Sometimes it does this. So if it happens, you need that code to do it. You have a web developer do it. But you get the idea. It's like, So what do you have to change now, guys? You're gonna like upload your renamed photos and just swap them out. In my case, how many photos do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 photos, right? We're gonna swap out 4 photos. We're gonna rename them, right? And what else are you gonna do? You're gonna rewrite your content. You can leave your header tags all the same. You know, you're gonna adjust your theme colors, which takes what, 5 minutes. So you have a choice. You can either clone the entire site, like use Updraft Plus or all-in-one SEO, not all-in-one SEO, was it all-in-one WP migration, or you can just clone the page and just swap out this stuff in record time. I don't know about you guys, I'm about speed.
Just a quick one there as well. A lot of people will be looking at this thinking that's duplicate content across the pages. Duplicate content doesn't apply to the same website. I was talking to a guy called Kyle Roof, who's a really good SEO, a few months back, and I asked him to explain to me why we don't use spin text on these websites, because we did a huge test and we found that out of hundreds and hundreds of websites, all of our sites that had the exact same content on every single page was outranking pretty much every single site that we had that had spun content on it. And he explained it to me. He said, if you go to a shop website that's got thousands and thousands and thousands of different products, let's say they do a TV in 15 different sizes. He says they'll have a page for each TV in all the 15 different sizes. Everything on the page will be identical. The only thing that will change is the actual TV size on that page, and everything else will be identical. And he said, and that's what you're doing when you build your mass pages the way that we're doing them, is because the product is the location. And he said it would look weird to a website, if it would look weird to Google if a business serving Trinity, okay, had different content 2 miles down the road in a different location that they were serving, because it's the same business, so potentially the content should be identical. What you don't want to do is copy the exact same content from site to site. So if you do a different site, use new fresh content, but if you're doing it on the same website, make sure you use the same content across the pages, because you will always, as a real business, provide the exact same service in each additional area that you cover. Sorry, mate, I thought I'd get that in there before we move on, because that's an important thing that a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah, people forget. It's like, look, if like I used to spin content at the page level, but now I'm doing it off the page, and then I put it into a doc like this, and I just copy the content because I know it's unique. I've already checked it, and I don't have to worry about it. So I do it on the back end first. I'll use Page Rewriter, the AI rewriting tool, which is awesome, and it'll spit out awesome, like 3 or 4 copies of content, and then I'll just check it in CopyScape and make sure it's clean. And then I can put it on 4 sites. So so content on the content on this site is all the same. Like the content on the homepage and all the managing pages is identical. It's just we're changing out the location and the map. That's it. Everything else is identical. So that's why I was showing you guys, like I did a site colon for this other domain. Look at this. If all these meta descriptions were different, that's not natural. Like it has to be the same. But the only thing we're changing out is the location. So it just saves you time. But again, to Mike's point, from site to site, the content needs to be unique. But on the site, you can have as many pages as you want. It doesn't matter. So all right, what else? Last thoughts here are this. Guys, I have timed myself. I've literally finding a phone number on Twilio, configuring it. I literally copy my form in Lead Simplify. I duplicate the form in 10 seconds, and then I just change it on the site. Like I literally can build out a site in less than 30 minutes from start to finish, with all the magic page settings, the logo, the phone number. Because remember, what are you changing on the next site? You're only changing but your magic page settings, right? And then this information right here. These are the only 4 fields you got to change. In fact, if I just change this to, and what? I could even make this generic and say, I don't even have to put Florida in there if I didn't want to, right? I could put region, right, Mike? I could put region in there.
Yeah, you can have location, county, region, and zip in there, so that literally it'll be completely different on every single website, because the shortcode's pulled in using MPP.
So to me, I just learned to make it as generic as possible. So there's less places I need to touch the website, and that's huge. So for me, it's like these, company and phone number. This populates automatically. I've found, I've noticed, but sometimes you gotta do it manually. Then you're just adding your logo, your images are gonna get changed, and you're done. So guys, if you've struggled, let me go back to my document when we started. Why do people struggle with rank and rank? You lack clarity and confidence, right? I think we just demonstrated how to have clarity and confidence, because this is the simplest way to leverage the power of Magic Page in a very minimalistic fashion where you can literally get sites up. Look, I'll tell you this, your evergreen site, look, if it takes you 2 hours, 3 hours to get your first one done, because you got to learn a little bit, so that's fine. But after that, you'll be able to get a site under an hour, and over time, you can get a site under half an hour. So for me, my record is 18 minutes. I had to time myself, Mike, just to see if I could do it. But literally, I got to say 18 minutes, I'm done. So you guys need clarity and confidence. I think we just demonstrated how to do that. Were you overwhelmed before? Yes. Should you be overwhelmed now? No, because you now see it's simplicity, guys. Simplicity is what changes the world. You don't have to complicate the stuff. Keep the game plan simple. The way I'm leveraging Magic Page accomplishes everything I need because I'm ranking, I'm getting leads, etc. How much money did we drop? I paid $10 for the domain, $1 for the Twilio, or $1.05 now for the Twilio phone number, and my only other investments are Magic Page and Lead Simplify, and the ROI is through the roof, right? How long does it take to build sites? Not very. By the way, I haven't talked about this, but I built out this Boon Epoxy website, right? I did a live training on this back in September. So I built a site in an hour live and did the training, kind of like I'm doing here. And what was crazy was I didn't do a sitemap submission, and I don't do them anymore because I don't even do Gmail. I don't do Google Search Console. I let Google find the site on its own. This site, Google indexed naturally overnight. It indexed the homepage. It was page 1 of Google. It was position number 4 the next day, and within 5 days, it was number 1, and now it's above the map pack, right? I had another site that I also said I'm going to let it index manually. In fact, here's the site. It's a clone of this one, guys, in case you haven't noticed, right? Looks the same. Please don't copy my designs. This is my design. I like it. Use your own design, but this is the way I like my sites. But with this site, I let it index. It took 18 days. I wanted to test it. It took 18 days to index, and within a week, it's number 1, first page of Google. No leads yet because it's a brand new website. But guess what? We have all the right stuff in place. The search volume is there. This site's going to rank over time. My philosophy, much like what Mike and Keith talk about, is I don't just have one site. I have 10 sites in a region, and I find a partner, and I basically can do a pay-per-lead basis, or I could do a flat rate. But I got this guy paying me, he's gonna be paying me $4,000 to $5,000 a month for just, 6 or 7 sites in my region, and he's gonna take all the leads and close all the business. It's a nice deal. So guys, if you've been struggling with lead gen, if you've attempted to build with Magic Page, but you were overwhelmed, no fault of Magic Page or anything like that. There's a lot of technical stuff, I get it. Leverage Magic Page the way I'm showing you, the way I just built up the site. You could do it very quickly and your sites will rank. I have students of mine that their sites are ranking first page of Google and they're getting leads in a couple of weeks. Why? Because we focused on one main keyword so we could do a one-page website. I don't do any other service pages, and Google is getting a super clear, crystal clear message that they're like, we know exactly what this website is about. We know where you do the business. The site loads fast. You're answering the questions. You're talking about price. You're answering questions that people have answers to. And we're going to rank you accordingly because we're doing exactly what Google wants. So guys, that is the training in a nutshell. Mike, I'll pass over to you.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be watching this and they're still going to be a little bit confused, and they're going to want to work with you, not just watch your video and think it. If somebody wants to work with you, where do they go? What do they do? How do they work with you?
Let's see if it would be amazing. My website was down today. So
I was going to say they don't go there. Yep, go ahead, you're good.
Listen, guys, I'm a minimalist. I'm all about, I teach business mindset, sales training, qualifying prospects, prospecting the right way, vetting these jokers, because most of these guys are posers. They have big egos, they're just not good at closing business. The biggest challenge people have with lead gen is they'll get all this stuff right, but then you got a partner and you think, well, this isn't working, I'm gonna quit. No, guys, you just need to vet these guys the right way. And I teach everybody how to qualify them the right way so that you have recurring revenue you can count on. So I teach that, we teach Facebook, we teach SEO, we teach lead gen. All right, this is my Christmas photo. We just took it like, I don't know, a few weeks ago. So I had to update it. My son is getting pretty tall now. But yeah, you guys can check us out here. I have another live build that I did. My coaching program is on here. What I'll say about the program is this: I'm not looking to sell people. Either you trust me and believe I can help you get results, or you don't. And if you don't, then you got to bounce. And I'm cool with that. But I'm all about helping add value to people. I want to remove as much complexity as I can to give you clarity, confidence, and a game plan that you can execute and get results. The biggest thing that I hear from people is, Ed, the way you teach things, it just removes all the noise. And I get it now. And Magic Page is amazing. I didn't realize how simple it could be. I'm all in, and I got students crushing it now. So guys, if you got questions for me, hit me up. I'm always available, to my detriment, but I'm all about helping people win, because more of you guys need to crush it for your families, because working JOBs is not where it's at. Mike and I know that all too well. And a lot of you guys need to up your game. One last thing, consistency in your work is the most important aspect of what you're doing. You need to be consistently building out sites. You need to be consistently prospecting to find good partners. And you need to vet those guys so that the leads that you provide people are actually people who know how to close business, and they're going to be responsive. You do those things right, guys, there is no way you can lose leveraging Magic Page, leveraging Lead Simplify, leveraging the way I teach, building out Gutenberg sites. Dude, it's a home run. So guys, I appreciate the time. Mike, I'll pass the baton back to you.
Yep, I just want to thank you very much for coming on, mate. The reason I reached out to you personally is because I've been hearing so much good about you. People have been coming back to me, and the guys that are doing your courses and the guys that have got involved with you, and I think we did an email for you a few weeks back, and a few people that's got involved are like blown away with how comprehensive the training is, but how simple and quick and easy it is as well, and how they can go from 0 to 60 really, really fast. It was even Keith came to me and he's like, holy shit, you need to see what Ed's doing. It's like, it's so simple. It's very similar to what I was doing before I was ever teaching everybody. And it obviously still works. Some of my best sites, I mean, we do probably between 10 to 15,000 leads a month on average. And most of the sites that we've got ranking on a huge scale are very similar to the ones you're building. I absolutely love it, and I thank you very much for coming on, guys. edwideman.com. I will put it in the chat, the comments below, because I'm gonna share this on YouTube. So if you've come via one of my emails, I've sent you an email to this video. Watch the video. Hope you absolutely love it. And if you want to work with Ed, obviously hit him up. He's a great guy, and the stuff he's doing works, which is unusual in our industry, and that's exactly why I got him on. So thank you very much, Ed. I'll end the presentation there, bud, and we will. I just thank you. I really appreciate you coming on.
Hey, Mike, thanks for your time, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, pal. Bye.